This is the Omni Sports 2016 Buckball season coverage. All Buckball, all the time. Here's your host, Snazzy Chapeau.
And we're back. The first and last game of the 2016 Buckball season has come and gone, and Team Ponyville has dominated with a unique style of play from three equally unique players. Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Snails will no doubt go down in history as the players who redefined what it means to play Buckball. Truly a Cinderella story for the ages. The Omni viewer is live in the field. Omni, tell us, how did these three underdogs go from ponies who had never even heard of the sport before to heroes who will no doubt be on the most coveted of trading cards?
Well, Snazzy, that's what we buckballers like to call good old-fashioned, natural-born, God-given talent. What Pinkie, Flutters, and Snails display in the field is the sort of thing you just can't teach a player. Oh, sure, you can train them, but there's just no beating what comes from within. They're the sort of players that can go all the way to the finals. You know, once this sport actually catches on a national level and we can have finals.
But what about the unconventional training methods of Team Ponyville? Rather than learn a vigorous training course, run the routines, and respond to the pressure, Team Ponyville tossed practice out the window and simply decided to have fun. There are some who might say this sends the wrong message.
Well, Snazzy, if you don't enjoy doing something, what's the point in doing it?
But tossing out the regiment entirely? Some would say that's an insult to sports players everywhere. After all, practice makes perfect, does it not?
I disagree with you there, Snazzy. Practice does not make perfect. Perfection is unattainable in this material world. What practice does is sharpen your skills.
But does that really justify the lack of practice? Some would say that if you can't take the heat, you should get out of the kitchen.
Actually, Snazzy, if I can put forward a bit of personal experience, I am a natural-born actor. That is where my talents lie. I am a natural-born actor. Acting is what comes most easily to me. However, the one time I tried taking an internship to try and hone my acting skills, I was terrible. The people in charge were constantly trying to impart methods to us, methods which I had never heard of before and never actually needed in order to give great performances. And no matter how hard I tried, I just could not wrap my head around these things. When I tried speaking to the people in charge and telling them that these methods were not clicking with me no matter how hard I tried, I was told that I was making excuses for myself and that if I couldn't master these methods, I wasn't an actor and I shouldn't be there. Well, I left the day after that conversation wondering if my future really was as an actor. After this horrible experience, I continued to get many acting jobs, including some that gave me equity points, and I've never needed the methods even once.
And you're saying this same principle applies to Ponyville's Miracle Team, that the secret to success is for the coach to work with the player rather than force them to follow a singular path which might have adverse effects.
Indeed I am, Snazzy. The methods can work for some people, but they don't work for everyone, and sometimes they can do far more harm than good.
And what of Snail's method of not thinking about things? I suppose an argument could be made that clearing your mind would allow the players to focus and be more efficient.
I think this image of Snail's zen-like practice says it all, Snazzy, and I too can speak from experience when I say that overthinking things does cause more stress than it's worth.
Well, I suppose we'll have to wait and see what the teams decide for the next Buckball season. Things should be very interesting as the game's popularity spreads across Equestria. Now, Omni, tell me, have you really been talking into a stick instead of a microphone this whole time?
Yes, Snazzy? Yes, I have.
Alright, just wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing things. After the break, we'll speak with Dr. Bennett Omalu about his controversial article in which he claims Buckball might be causing massive internal injuries in its players. That, plus this week's Fantasy Buckball results, when we return.
See, 'cause Spike was speaking into a stick during Fall Weather Friends instead of the... I don't know.